There are men who walk through life quietly, without the need for a stage or applause. They are not loud and they do not demand attention, yet their presence shifts the atmosphere of any room they enter. These men belong to what we often call the Sigma archetype, a path of independence, calm strength, and disciplined solitude. Unlike the constant striving of those who measure themselves against the world, Sigma males move according to an inner compass. They do not hurry to prove their worth, nor do they collapse under the weight of social pressures. Instead, they cultivate habits that may appear simple on the surface, but in reality, they require rare discipline and self-awareness. For ordinary men, these habits can be difficult, even uncomfortable. They require patience in a world that values speed, silence in a culture that rewards noise, and detachment in environments that thrive on validation. The Sigma chooses the harder road, not because he wishes to stand out, but because it aligns with his essence. Consider the habit of spending long hours in solitude. For most people, silence feels empty, something to be filled with chatter, distractions, or company. But for the Sigma, solitude is nourishment. It sharpens his thoughts and refines his sense of self. This single habit alone separates him from the ordinary, for few can endure the quiet long enough to find clarity in it. In this video, we will explore the habits of a Sigma male that are not easily imitated. These are not dramatic, high-energy practices, but steady, quiet disciplines that shape a man into something uncommon. So let us move slowly, taking our time as we uncover 8 Sigma male habits that ordinary men often struggle to live by. Number 1, embracing solitude without loneliness. Sigma males are not afraid of being alone. In fact, they embrace it. While many men see solitude as a form of isolation or even weakness, a Sigma understands that it is the very soil in which growth takes root. Science backs this up. Psychologists have long noted that time spent in solitude can sharpen creativity, improve focus, and even strengthen emotional regulation. For example, a study published in The found that individuals who regularly practiced solitude reported greater levels of self-reflection and long-term satisfaction than those who constantly sought social interaction. For a Sigma, being alone is never about loneliness, it's about alignment. It is in the quiet hours, away from noise and external influence, that he reflects on his path, learns from his past, and makes deliberate choices for his future. Many influential thinkers, like Nikola Tesla and Henry David Thoreau, also championed solitude as a wellspring of clarity and originality. Tesla once remarked that isolation was essential for invention, while Thoreau sought the wilderness of Walden Pond to better understand life itself. This mirrors the Sigma's instinct, stepping back from the crowd to hear the sound of his own thoughts. Ordinary men, on the other hand, often struggle with silence. Craving constant validation, attention, or distraction, they find an empty room unbearable because it forces them to confront themselves without filters. The Sigma sees this differently. He knows that self-mastery cannot be achieved in the clamor of endless chatter. It must be forged in the discipline of solitude. This doesn't mean he rejects people. Rather, he values connection that is authentic and purposeful, not built on fear of being alone. In solitude, the Sigma strengthens his inner resolve like a warrior sharpening his blade. He emerges from quiet seasons not weaker but sharper, more disciplined and more aware of who he is. Where others dread the silence, he thrives in it, proving that solitude is not an absence of life, it is the foundation of growth. Number 2, quiet observation before action. Rather than rushing into situations, the Sigma male observes. He listens more than he speaks and studies before he acts. This habit of patience allows him to move with precision, while others waste energy reacting too quickly. In many ways, this trait mirrors the principles found in psychology and history alike. For instance, researchers in cognitive science have shown that impulsive decision-making often activates the brain's limbic system, the emotional center, whereas deliberate, patient thinking engages the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for rational judgment and planning. This means that patience is not just a personality quirk, it is a neurological advantage that helps reduce errors and improve outcomes. Throughout history, some of the most effective leaders and thinkers have embodied this Sigma-like patience. Military strategist Sun Tzu wrote in that victory belongs to those who can wait, observe, and strike at the precise moment. Similarly, Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors of modern times, has often credited patience as the cornerstone of his wealth-building strategy. While markets swing wildly with fear and greed, Buffett sits back, studies trends, and waits for the right opportunity, turning patience into profit. For the Sigma male, this practice is not about laziness or hesitation. Instead, it is a conscious rejection of the culture of haste. In today's world, where instant responses and quick reactions dominate, his stillness can be misunderstood as passivity. Yet research in behavioral economics shows that those who delay gratification often achieve greater success in the long run. The famous marshmallow experiment conducted at Stanford University demonstrated that children who resisted eating a marshmallow immediately in order to receive two later tended to perform better academically and socially as adults. The Sigma male lives by a similar principle, choosing foresight over impulse. This way of moving through life is what sets him apart. His silence is not emptiness but strategy, his delay not weakness but control. While others burn themselves out in the frenzy of constant action, the Sigma male conserves his energy, stepping forward only when the path is clear. That is why, when he finally acts, his moves appear almost effortless, as though he had known the outcome all along. Number 3, refusal to chase validation. Where ordinary men may measure their worth through recognition, the Sigma is content with his own approval. He does not adjust his values to gain applause. This freedom from external validation is rare, yet it grants him immense inner peace. In psychology, this quality is often linked to what Abraham Maslow described as self-actualization, the highest stage of human development, where a person lives authentically, guided by inner principles rather than external rewards. Most people, consciously or not, chase validation, from social media likes to workplace praise, because human beings are wired with a deep need for belonging. Studies in social psychology confirm that external validation can light up the same brain regions as receiving a tangible reward. Yet while this can boost confidence temporarily, it often leads to dependency. The Sigma male avoids this trap by finding satisfaction in his own judgment, which builds long-term resilience. History offers countless examples of individuals who lived this way. Think of Nikola Tesla, who was largely ignored and even ridiculed in his time, yet persisted with his vision because he valued his own convictions over recognition. Or consider the Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, who reminded himself daily that the opinions of others were fleeting and beyond his control. This perspective echoes what Sigmas embody in daily life, a quiet refusal to compromise their identity for approval. Educationally, this habit challenges us to reflect on our own relationship with validation. Are our choices shaped by our inner compass or by the desire to be seen and applauded? Entertainingly, you might picture the Sigma as the man at a crowded party, who doesn't need to be the loudest voice in the room. He stands at the edge, calm and observant, and somehow his stillness speaks louder than any performance. Ordinary men may struggle with this, because in a world driven by visibility and applause, choosing silence and self-approval seems almost rebellious. Yet it is precisely this rebellion that grants the Sigma his peace, his strength, and his mysterious pull. Number 4, self-discipline in daily life. Whether it is in fitness, work, or study, Sigma males maintain discipline without ever needing to broadcast it. They are not the type to post their early morning gym sessions on social media or boast about how many hours they studied the night before. Instead, they quietly live in a rhythm of structure and consistency, rising early, following routines, and sticking to their commitments even when no one is watching. This hidden discipline is what separates them from ordinary men, who often rely heavily on external accountability, whether it's a boss, a coach, or the fear of public judgment, to stay on track. A Sigma male's drive comes from within, rooted in self-mastery rather than social validation. Psychologists refer to this quality as intrinsic motivation, where an individual is fueled by inner values and goals rather than outside rewards. Studies on habit formation have shown that routines anchored in intrinsic motivation are far more sustainable, which explains why Sigma males are able to maintain consistency over years, not just weeks. For example, in fitness, an ordinary man might hit the gym hard for a month when motivated by a friend or a trainer, but quickly fall off when that support fades. A Sigma male, on the other hand, views the gym as a non-negotiable part of his day, much like brushing his teeth or eating breakfast. He does not need applause for his effort. The act itself is the reward. This discipline extends beyond physical health. In their studies or careers, Sigma males practice what productivity experts call deep work, the ability to focus without distraction on cognitively demanding tasks. While ordinary men might procrastinate until deadlines loom, Sigmas carve out consistent blocks of time to chip away at their goals. Over time, this quiet persistence compounds like interest in a bank account, yielding results that seem extraordinary to others but are simply the natural outcome of daily discipline. It is this rare blend of intrinsic motivation, routine, and consistency that allows Sigma males to build lives of strength and independence without ever needing the spotlight to validate their efforts. Number 5. Selective social energy. Sigma males interact with others carefully, and this is often misunderstood. To many observers, their behavior can seem detached or distant, as though they are uninterested in people or unwilling to connect. But the reality is far more nuanced. Sigma males are not antisocial. Instead, they are selective, choosing quality over quantity when it comes to relationships and interactions. This careful selection is rooted in the idea of energy preservation. Human psychology and neuroscience confirm that social interactions consume cognitive and emotional resources. A study published in highlighted how prolonged social engagement can increase stress markers in introverted personalities. Sigma males, though not strictly introverts, naturally apply this awareness by guarding their time and energy from shallow or draining connections. Rather than spreading themselves thin across multiple superficial relationships, they invest deeply in a few meaningful ones. This approach is not about rejection of others, but about alignment with authenticity. Think of it like the principle of Dunbar's number, a concept in anthropology that suggests humans can only maintain around 150 stable social relationships at once. Sigma males unconsciously narrow this further, recognizing that intimacy, trust, and genuine respect are diluted when one tries to engage with too many people. By focusing on fewer bonds, they maintain emotional clarity and avoid unnecessary drama. This refined social strategy has practical benefits. It allows them to remain adaptable, independent, and focused on their goals without constant distraction from external noise. Unlike extroverts, who may draw energy from crowds, or alphas, who thrive on dominance within groups, Sigmas prioritize internal balance. Their careful interactions ensure that when they do give their presence, it carries weight and meaning. Others often sense this difference. Conversations with Sigmas tend to feel intentional rather than performative. This is why people may describe them as mysterious or difficult to access. They are not withholding, but deliberate. In many ways, this guarded energy mirrors historical and cultural figures known for their restraint. Think of Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, who valued contemplation and self-discipline over constant social immersion. Today, in an age of endless notifications and shallow digital connections, the Sigma's approach serves as a quiet rebellion. It is not detachment, it is discernment. By interacting carefully, they preserve the rare ability to show up authentically with full presence when it truly matters. Number 6, thinking long-term, acting slowly. In a world that constantly rewards speed and instant gratification, the Sigma male operates on a very different wavelength. He is not caught up in the rush of chasing the next thrill, the newest trend, or the quickest reward. Instead, his mindset is firmly planted in the long game. This does not mean he is slow or passive, far from it. It means he values foresight, patience, and the kind of discipline that most men find difficult to maintain. While others often choose what feels good in the moment, the Sigma invests in skills, builds habits, and makes decisions with the future in mind. This quiet strategy is what sets him apart. Psychologists often call this delayed gratification, the ability to resist immediate temptations in order to achieve larger, long-term goals. One of the most famous studies on this subject was the Stanford marshmallow experiment in the 1970s. Children were given a choice: eat one marshmallow now or wait and receive 2 later. The children who managed to wait ended up years down the line with higher levels of success in education, careers, and even personal relationships. The Sigma male naturally embodies this principle in his daily life. He knows that true growth takes time, whether it is mastering a new skill, nurturing a relationship, or building financial independence. This foresight protects him from the pitfalls of haste. Many people rush into decisions, spending money they do not have, chasing relationships they are not ready for, or accepting jobs that only drain their energy, only to pay the price later. The Sigma male avoids this trap by pausing, reflecting, and then acting with precision. This doesn't make him rigid, rather, it makes him adaptable. By thinking ahead, he has already considered possible outcomes, which means he can pivot without losing his balance. In modern society, where credit cards promise instant purchases and social media promises instant attention, the ability to think long-term is a rare strength. Sigma males understand that real power comes not from the rush of the moment, but from the accumulation of wise decisions over time. They play a quieter, smarter game, investing in themselves when no one is watching, and reaping the rewards when others are left wondering how they manage to stay so steady. This is the hidden advantage of foresight, and it's why Sigmas often thrive where ordinary men stumble. Number 7, emotional detachment in conflict. When disagreements arise, the Sigma male does not meet them with chaos or fiery outbursts. Instead, he takes the opposite route, remaining calm, detached, and rational. Where most men might raise their voices or let emotions dictate their actions, the Sigma treats conflict as a test of composure. His approach is not about avoiding confrontation, but about mastering it. By maintaining emotional control, he disarms the situation and keeps the power in his hands. This quiet, calculated response often leaves others unsettled because they expect anger or drama and instead meet unshakable calm. This quality is rooted in psychology. Studies in emotional intelligence show that individuals who regulate their emotions effectively are better at conflict resolution and decision-making. Sigmas embody this principle naturally. Instead of reacting impulsively, they allow the prefrontal cortex, the rational part of the brain, to take charge rather than the amygdala, which triggers emotional responses like anger or fear. This ability to stay grounded gives them a sharp advantage, whether in personal relationships or professional settings. History even offers parallels. Figures such as Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, emphasized composure in the face of adversity, writing that true strength is measured not by controlling others, but by controlling oneself. What makes this even more fascinating is how the Sigma's calmness transforms conflict into opportunity. While others drain their energy through arguments, the Sigma conserves his, using logic and strategy to guide the outcome. This mirrors negotiation tactics used by diplomats and successful leaders who know that patience and rationality are often more effective than force. In social interactions, his detached demeanor can create an air of mystery, leaving others guessing what he truly thinks, which in turn shifts the balance of control in his favor. In everyday life, this behavior is rare because it requires discipline, self-awareness, and practice. For most men, ego and emotion often override reason. The Sigma, however, is not driven by the need to prove himself in the heat of the moment. He understands that true influence comes from restraint. By choosing silence over shouting, patience over provocation, and strategy over impulse, he not only resolves disagreements but also demonstrates a deeper mastery, one that sets him apart from ordinary men. Number 8, constant inner learning. Perhaps the most enduring habit of a Sigma is his commitment to learning. Unlike many who consume knowledge casually, a Sigma male treats learning as a lifelong pursuit, one that demands reflection and depth. He does not settle for surface-level information or fleeting trends. Instead, he immerses himself in books, observations, and experiences that challenge his mind. Studies in psychology suggest that people who adopt this reflective approach to learning often develop stronger critical thinking skills and greater adaptability, traits that align perfectly with the Sigma's independent nature. History offers countless examples of men who embodied this discipline. Leonardo da Vinci filled his notebooks with sketches and questions about everything from anatomy to astronomy, while modern figures like Elon Musk have credited their success to voracious self-education across multiple fields. For the Sigma, life itself becomes the classroom, with every setback, success, and quiet moment serving as a lesson. He does not measure progress by diplomas or titles, but by the wisdom gained from observation and contemplation. This is why the Sigma often appears ahead of his time, because he invests in learning not as a requirement, but as a way of life, ensuring that growth never truly ends. The habits of a Sigma male are not random quirks, but carefully developed patterns rooted in psychology and discipline. Studies on personality frameworks, particularly those expanding from Carl Jung's archetypes, suggest that introverted yet highly independent individuals often thrive by creating structured routines that prioritize self-mastery over external validation. This is why Sigma habits look so unusual to others. They don't follow society's rhythm, but their own internal compass. For instance, spending long hours alone may seem isolating to most, yet research shows solitude can increase creativity, problem-solving ability, and emotional regulation. Similarly, detaching from social noise doesn't mean disinterest. It reflects a conscious choice to protect mental clarity. Over time, these consistent choices forge resilience, independence, and a quiet confidence. What appears difficult to the average man, discipline, patience, and emotional restraint, becomes second nature for the Sigma. His life teaches us that strength is not always loud. Sometimes it thrives in silence.